The new home of boxing, Box Nation.
Oh yes, hello and welcome as Box Nation returns to Liverpool, where in the past 12 months we've enjoyed some fantastic nights of boxing. And tonight should be no exception as we're back at the Olympia. We love this place. It used to be a circus, and if you close your eyes and breathe in deep enough, you can still smell where the elephants and the camels lived. That's true. I once researched it. It's the absolute truth. Tonight, we've got for you British title fights, Commonwealth title fights, eliminators, and a couple of crossroad fights for a couple of regulars here on the safe side of the ropes at Box Nation. We've also got a couple of superflies.
From the city of Liverpool, Paul Butler, Paul Smith, Enzo McGranelli, Mackenzie.
Darkest of night with the moon shining bright. There's a set going strong, a lot of things going on. The man of the hour has an air of great power. The dudes have envied him for so long. Oh, Superfly, you're gonna make your fortune fly. But if you lose, don't ask no questions why. The only game you know is do or die. Superfly.
Oh yes, Paul Butler, John Donnelly, the vacant British Super Flyweight Championship. It's a local derby and that adds spice, especially here at the Olympia on the outskirts of Liverpool. Also, Oville Mackenzie, the derby bouncer, against Enzo Macronelli, the crooner from Swansea. They both bang Commonwealth Light Heavyweight Championship. That's going to be coming up, I don't know, about 9:30, but that's tonight. Tomorrow we go large, we go LA large. Nathan Cleverly, Sean Hawke, the Sioux Warrior, WBO World Light Heavyweight Championship of the World, and several other fights on that bill. Now, that's LA, that is. That's where Steve Lidis is, rubbing shoulders with Mickey Rourke, rubbing shoulders with Tom Jones, and deserting his true friends. So instead of at the draft in another Steve Bell, who's going to be with me throughout the evening, is going to be with you until we go off air, probably about midnight. Steve, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming back.
Thanks for having me again, yeah.
It's an interesting night, really, because obviously you've got the vacant British title, a couple of local superflies, which is always going to be lively. Done a lot of tickets. Paul Smith coming back, Smigger coming back. We'll see his fight first. But let's not beat around the bush. The main attraction here, really, for the people watching, maybe not the people in the venue, is Enzo Macronelli over Mackenzie. What has Enzo got left? That's the big question, Steve-O.
Well, to be honest, I don't know. We'll find out tonight, I think. I mean, he's never in an easy fight, is he? He's always in a war. He likes knocking out, and he's shown that he can get knocked out as well. So I'm looking forward to watching Paul Smith as well get back in the ring, but yeah, Enzo's a big one.
It's a big one. It's a big thing for Smigger because obviously he got beat last November against George Groves. Bit of a shock the way it finished, and he injured his hand as well. It's only a couple of rounds. He managed to injure his hand, so he's had an awful long time out.
Yep.
And I don't know about you, but I also think that got to Smigger a little bit, got inside Paul's head. Not just being hit on the chin. No one can get hit on the chin. The fact that he got so badly stopped. I think he struggled with that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, any fighter who gets knocked out like that, they worry about it. But I don't know. I think he's still got more left. Paul Smith. His last two fights that he's been beat.
He's only 30.
Yeah, he's been beat by two really decent guys, George Groves and James DeGale.
Yeah, so
he's got that to come back. He can come back from that.
And a vacant title fight, Superflies, both local, and both sold an awful lot of tickets. They do love a derby up here, don't they?
Oh, they do. They love it. Yeah, there's always some good fighters. I remember used to like watching Paul Hodgkinson fight. The Scouts have always got
they come out.
Good fight. They do. They come out in force. Paul Butler's a really good fighter. I used to train with him in Arnie's gym, and I only went watching him last week to do a bit of sparring, and he looks really good. He looks as though he's come on a hell of a lot. So I think this is just a stepping stone for him, the British title. I think he can win this tonight and then go on to bigger things.
Thanks very much, Stephen. Well, plenty more to come here. Of course, we're going to be joined at ringside by our man, Sir John of Royland, and a slight change of commentary cast tonight, because sitting alongside him is Anthony Groller. But before we go to them, let's go to the man in the middle, the smooth voice, the multi-tuxedoed, Mike Goodall.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Box Nation, and welcome to viewers live and exclusive on Britain's dedicated boxing channel, promoted by Queensbury Promotions in association with Stephen Vaughan, and sponsored by Rainham Steel and Nuts. Tonight we are at the Olympia in Liverpool. Our officials are all appointed by the British Boxing Board of Control, and let's welcome our first contestants into the ring. Please welcome from Belfast, Tommy Tolan.
Well, good evening to you. Here's Tommy Tolan, 39-year-old from Belfast. And this is the comeback opponent for Paul Smith. Fair few of Paul's fans, of course, here in Liverpool, looking to see his return. And Tommy, well, I guess he knows the score, 39 years old. He's not 1 in 10, and I suppose he's the bit part player. But there's going to be a few nerves, nevertheless, for Paul, and he'll be waiting to make his ring entrance in just a moment or two. Tommy Tolan, as I say now, 39 years old. He has got 4 professional victories, but you've got to go back a little bit before you get to his last one. He can punch a bit, though.
And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, Paul Smith.
Well, here's Smigger, Paul Smith, now 30 years old, and just about to make his way in, and here he comes. I would think this is to the sounds of Deacon Blue, isn't it, Anthony?
Yeah, he's a massive Deacon Blue fan, is Paul, and Rio Gone Kids, it's always been his theme tune from his first fight, so as you can hear now, the crowd are really into it, and it's a great tune to come out.
You've been in the gym with him. How's he looking?
Paul's looking well. He's just he's looking at this fight. The fight he wants is Kenny Anderson, so he's looking like this. Tommy Tolan can't be underestimated, but this is seen as we said earlier in the studio, this is seen as a fight for Paul to come back, and a fight he should win. Look for doing so.
Well, Kenny Anderson, that's the British title shot that Paul Smith wants. First, he's got to get past Tommy Tolan.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a contest over 6 3-minute rounds in the super middleweight division. And introducing firstly, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the white trunks trimmed with green. He's from Belfast, weighed in at 12 stone 4 pound. He holds a 17-fight professional record, 12 wins, 4 losses and 1 draw, 3 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome Tommy Tolan. And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, across the ring in the blue corner, wearing the black and gold trunks. He weighed in at 12 stone, 7.5 pound. Brings to the ring a 34-fight professional record, 31 wins, 17 wins by way of knockout with just 3 losses. Ladies and gentlemen, he's a former British champion. Please welcome Liverpool's very own Paul Smith. And officials for this contest, the timekeeper, Mr. Jimmy Kirkpatrick, and the referee, Mr. Mark Lyson. 6 3-minute rounds.
You see, obey my commands. I tell you to break cleanly. Defend yourselves at all times, boys. Look to you both.
Well, I'm used to commentating with Paul Smith nowadays. It's nice to see him back in the ring. And 12 stone 7.5, just a pound or 2 heavier than we would have wanted. Super middleweight limit, of course, 12 stone, but very experienced fighter indeed tonight in his 35th professional fight.
I think straight away from the off here, John, you can see that Tommy Tolan's come out throwing shots. He's always, you know, whoever he comes out to, Tony Jeffers, Rocky Fielding, you know, names don't seem to intimidate him, do they? Started this way in this.
Oh, that's a good shot from Smith. Lovely left hand. And Tolan momentarily touching down within the first 30 seconds of this fight. That's a good shot. Well, Smith now will go looking for him, I'm sure, although he'll be aware of just wanting to just pick his shots. It's only a flash knockdown.
It's definitely, John. I think with him now, Paul, he don't want to rush into anything. Like you say, he's not been in the gym for a year. He don't want to rush in. Head clashes, which Tommy's been due in a lot of fights he's had. Cuts have occurred, so he wants to be careful now, pick his shots, and I'm sure the finish will come.
Interesting what Steve Bunce was saying about the psychological effect of that second round knockout defeat against George Groves a year ago. He's got to put that out of his mind and move on. And I know watching his fight, Kenny Anderson's fight rather, against Robin Reed, Paul really fancies the Anderson contest. Kenny no doubt will be watching somewhere right now, and he'll be saying, yeah, and I fancy a fight with him as well.
I think the two styles are certainly gel for a cracker there. I mean, Kenny Anderson, he doesn't take a backward step. Both lads can punch, and it's a fight that British boxing fans would like to see as well.
Well, you can see Tolan going in with the head and Paul Smith turning away just to try and avoid that one. I think Tony Jeffries, when he fought Tolan, got badly cut.
Yeah, it was an awful cut. It sidelined Tony Jeffries for a good while, and I mean, from now, sadly, Tony's had to retire due to hand injuries, but that was an injury that kept him out for a long while.
Body shot there, clearly hurting Tolan. Head's going in again.
It's gone in again.
The referee really ought to be getting a grip of this. Just having a quiet word with Tolan. But he really does go boring in with that shaven head of his.
He does do, like you say, he doesn't just come out reckless. Like I say, I don't think names mean a lot to Tommy Tolan. But no, the head, he needs to be careful with that. Good shot.
No, that's a nice right hand from Smith, who's been preparing fastidiously for his return. I know you were out there working in Freddie Roach's gym, weren't you?
Yep, I was out there in August with Paul, and he was getting some quality sparring with the likes of Kid Chocolate, and since then he's been sparring over in France with his brother Callum, with the French lad who fought Kid Chocolate in his last fight, so you could argue he's had world-class sparring.
Well, that was one of the most exciting fights that we've seen in recent months on Box Nation. Kid Chocolate's performance, and there's that left hand which put Tolan down momentarily. There we go. Nicely timed.
It was a lovely shot there. Like I say, Tommy, I think they both led to hook at the same time, but Tommy's hands was down, and he walked onto the shot, didn't he?
Well, here we are in Tolan's corner.
Whenever he's coming in going to a fight, then you let the right hand come out. Don't be leading that right hand from a distance, because you're missing that measure. Can you hear me now? Get your punches together, keep the hands up. Okay? You hear me now?
Second round, it's a 6-rounder. And Smith, well, he'd have scored that one, I guess, 10-8 by virtue of the knockdown. Referee Mark Kaysen, he's the man in charge here. Paul's family are in here tonight, of course. Brother fighting on the bill, and Dad's here somewhere as well, isn't he?
Yeah, Big Paul, they're a very close family and a great fighting family they are. I think anyone in Liverpool knows about boxing. The most well-known family around here, aren't they? I think what Paul wants to do now, he doesn't want to get involved in a scrappy fight. He wants to get back behind his jab, and like I say, the shot will come.
Appears to be very wary of the head.
Yeah.
And he sort of cut, and he's going to be out of action for a while, and that's the last thing he wants.
Because well, Paul's had a lot of facial damage cuts in the past, so it's something that'll always be at the back of his mind, I think.
Caught Tolan with another good body shot there, right hand. Sparring Kid Chocolate. How did he handle the?
It was good sparring. It was good competitive sparring, and I believe the same was over with the lad in France as well.
Yeah.
Who his brother Callum did. So, you know, like I say, then it's world-class sparring.
Well, he's not doing anything wrong at the moment. He's working his way through this quite nicely. Paul Smith, who won the British title 3 years ago, beating Tony Quigley, got the defence against Tony Dodson, and then lost it to James de Gale.
All three of those was great nights. Liverpool all attracted good crowds. It's a real fight city, is Liverpool, and those two local derbies. And I remember when Paul fought James de Gale, the place was packed out, the Echo Arena.
Yep. David Price, another Scouser not too long back, who of course filled out the Echo Arena as well, and he's got his date coming up at the end of the month, which you're going to be able to watch on Box Nation, against Matt Skelton, staging that one at Aintree. So 30 seconds to go in this second round. Paul Smith on the left-hand side of your picture, and Tolan has already been down in the opening period.
Landed with a good right hand there, which seems to stiffen Tolan's legs. He still seems a little shook up to me, John, here, Tolan.
Well, let's see if he sees it through to the end of the round. If he is shaken up, then Paul Smith will know about it better than anybody, and lands with a good stiff left hook right on the bell.
There, you put him at the end of the round.
Well, here's Joe Gallagher with Paul Smith.
Don't force your shots, all right, and feed off everything that he throws, touch and counter. Don't be throwing lazy jabs. He's looking for that shot himself over the top of yours, all right? Okay, do best. Keep the stabs coming to the body. Don't neglect your jab. And when you're jabbing, he'll jab back, jab, slip, boom, right hand. Work the treat at the end then, all right? Keep switched on. Yeah. And just be a bit more aware of your ring positioning, all right? Just step around and put the ring off a little bit. No. And listen, when he's touching in there, don't try and fight back with him. You know what I mean? Just let him go, then catch him with it, all right, okay? Okay, leading left hand up, all right? Okay. Yeah? I look to counter, he's jabbing your own right hand.
Paul's been with Joe Gallagher now for, what, year and a half, couple of years?
Yeah, he's settled. I think when did Paul come after the James de Gale fight, Paul come, yeah.
Of course, the relationship between fighter and trainer, so important. Tolan trying to remain aggressive.
There's the head again. I think you could hear him in the corner there, Joe was saying, just tuck up, don't be fighting back with Tolan when he's like that. Let him have his little burst, and now I think we'll see Paul come on strong. That's a good jab.
Smith's always tended to mark up in his fights. But if they're talking about potentially, I guess, a fight against Kenny Anderson in the new year, then he wants to come through this one unscathed.
The fight he was talking about just a few moments ago, John, the Tony Dodson fight, he had an horrific cut in that. That's some of the worst I've seen. And Mick Williamson, the experienced cuts man, he said exact same. He's not had as many as bad as that.
They've been told by Joe Gallagher, as you'll have heard, just concentrate on your jab. As the heads clash again. And a little bit of marking, a little bit of swelling around Smith's left eye. It's a good body shot, decent left hook from Smith. It's a question of shaking off the cobwebs. I guess you've got your good sparring, but getting in there in a competitive environment, important.
Yeah, definitely. You can't beat ring experience, and like I said there, he's had world-class sparring recently, but being out the ring for a year, and like Steve picked up on, it was a bad defeat, but there was no shame in losing to a great fighter like George Groves. But Paul's just about getting out here now, shaking off the cobwebs, and looking forward to making another assault on the British title.
It'll be interesting to see the route that's taken with that one, whether or not that will automatically come. I guess there'll be some talking behind the scenes. Meanwhile, it's just getting a little bit messy in there.
It is Tolan spoiling a little bit on the inside, but Paul's not got to let that happen now. Like you say, he's just got, that's a good body shot. That was a great body shot.
He felt that one, Anthony. Yeah. He really did. He just buckled over slightly, and Tolan's right eye as well is just a little bit damaged as well and swelling.
It is. I think that's what Joe Gallagher was asking for in the corner, just to step back a little bit and bring the shots up the middle. He done it then, Paul, and he had success.
Again, the heads were bumping and boring in close in the closing seconds of this third round, which Smith has again comfortably just tucked into the bag. And here's some of the action from that third round. That's that left hook.
That's Paul's pet shot, that left hook to the body. I think from the amateurs, he stops a lot of kids in the amateur days, and that's a lovely shot there. Tommy Tolan did very well to take that.
You gotta keep the hands up, start throwing them straight. Stop leading them big hooks. If you don't throw the hook, listen, straight shots first and then hook off it.
Well, I think like
that round I was dead on the last 2 rounds.
Side. Watch his head.
Gloves. Yeah. Doing that mostly though, aren't I?
Yeah, doing all right now. 3 rounds up, you're picking away. He ain't got much left of him now. Just little feints, and draw shit in it. Counter him. On the double jabber beats, just drop the shoulder and let that right uppercut go on him. All right, heads to.
So we move now into the fourth round. See Paul's dad right on the ring apron, keeping a close watch on things with one of his younger brothers. Is that Callum who's there with him?
That's Callum Smith, yep. That's there with him. Callum makes his pro debut next week, and there's big hopes for him. Follow the family tradition, and some people say Callum could be the best of the bunch. We'll see.
Referees again on Tommy Tolan's case. Well, Smith's going to be fairly pleased, I think, with the way things are going now. He's boxing nicely and he's dominating this fight, and I think importantly as well, he's getting around the turn.
Yeah, definitely. I think so far now he's looking like he's enjoying it, John, and that's what he wants when you've not been in the ring for a year. And I think we're in the corner to say then, keep chipping away and the stoppage will come, and I think he's just got not the last bit of resistance out of Tolan, and maybe the stoppage will come.
Maybe looking for a body shot once more before too long. Looking for that trademark left hook we talked about. That's a good shot. And again to the body.
Underneath. I think Paul now picks his shots here. Tolan's he's still feeling the effects of that body shot. Just watch the head on the way in.
Caught with the right hook as he came in there to Tolan and wanted to hold on. The referee's having a job getting between them. And again, for the second time this round, speaking to Tolan, who's cut around that left eye now, swelling up badly. Smith in complete control. It's caught by a right hand from Tolan.
He is, Paul, there. He's just not got to look too hard for the finish, which he was doing a little bit then, which made him walk onto the shot. I think back established the jab to both head and body, and the shot he's looking for will come. There's the left hook.
Oh, that's a good one, and again Tolan wants to hold on and gets an uppercut. The referee, I suspect, he's going to be having a look before too long. He's breathing deeply, Tolan. He took 2 big left hands, and his nose has gone as well now. Smith here in the fourth round is really starting to bust up the Irishman.
He is. I think with 20 seconds left, he might just see the end of this round, but it'd be interesting to see what his corner say to him now whether he comes back out. Is the referee deducting points for holding here?
Well, it was coming, wasn't it? That's the third time he's warned him in the round. I think that's absolutely right. Sign, though, of the hiding now that Tolan's taking in there.
It is, yeah. I don't believe Tommy's a spoiler, but I think he's been hurt off a few body shots and he's just trying to see himself through the round.
Well, he's managed to do so.
Yeah.
And just a little touch of acknowledgement from Smith, who recognises the bravery in his opponent. 4 rounds gone, and another big round for Paul Smith.
There was that left hook we was talking about, which is looking to come back, and he whipped straight back down to the body. There it is.
Get the sound right. That's a terrific left hook there from Smith.
I think that's certainly been the shot tonight, hasn't it? That's caused Tolan the most problems. Is he calling the referee over here?
I think the fight's over. Trainer called the referee over, and it is indeed all over in the 4th round. And for Paul Smith, that's a night's work well done.
Yeah, definitely. He got the 4 rounds, got the nice workout, and I thought that was a great decision then by the Tolan corner. His man was taking a lot of punishment, and it didn't look like he was going to turn it around. It was just going to be more punishment coming his way, and I thought that was a great bit of corner work there.
So, onwards he moves, and we'll be talking about a potential fight against Kenny Anderson. What do you reckon to that one, if it happens?
I know that's the fight that Paul's craving for. Like we said earlier, Kenny certainly won't shy away from that, so I think it'll make for a great fight.
There's Dad Paul and brother Callum, who's certainly shortly to make his pro debut. And in a moment we'll be getting a word with Paul himself, who's happily posing for the cameras.
Yeah, Paul just looks happy to have been back in there.
Yeah, it'll be a few nerves, and he'll just some frustrations as well in the last month or two, and just wanting to get back in there. Tommy Tolan gave it his best, but he's taken a bit of a hammering in the end. And Paul Smith getting another stoppage victory. Mike Goodall taking a shot as well. And in a moment or two, we will be getting confirmation of that 4th round stoppage and the retirement, rather, of Tommy Tolan at the end of the 4th round, and another inside the distance victory for Paul Smith. Right, here's Mike Goodall.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tommy Tolan having retired at the end of the 4th round with a damaged eye, leaving the winner, Liverpool's Paul Smith.
Paul Smith the winner. Let's hear what Bunsey makes of it. And in a moment or two, we'll have the double act once more down here at ringside, and we'll hear from Paul himself.
Thanks very much, John.